But wouldn't it be terrible to throw the president's wife and the former Secretary of State? Think of it, the former Secretary of State, but the president's wife into jail. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing? But they want to do it. So, it's a terrible, terrible path that they're leading us to. And it's very possible that it's going to happen to them. It's a very terrible thing. It's a terrible precedent for our country. Does that mean the next president does it to them? That's really the question.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and former President and convicted felon Donald Trump recently suggested that he will prosecute his political rivals as payback after being convicted of falsifying business records in a New York jury last week. The alarming part is he's not joking. He's dead serious.
And it's very possible that it's going to happen to them. Would have been very easy to do it, but I thought it would be a terrible precedent for our country. And now, whoever it may be, you're going to have to view it very much differently.
Within hours of a jury finding Trump guilty last week, the anger congealed into demands for action. Since then, prominent GOP leaders in and out of government have demanded that elected Republicans use every available instrument of power against Democrats, including targeted investigations and prosecutions. Here's how Trump henchman Stephen Miller puts it.
Is every House committee controlled by Republicans using its subpoena power in every way it needs to right now? Is every Republican DA starting every investigation they need to right now? Is every donor off the sidelines and in the game, the big dollar guys, the rich guys, the wealthy guys? Every facet of Republican Party politics and power has to be used right now to go toe to toe with Marxism and beat these communists.
Think about it. Everyone who has voiced opinions unflattering or harsh towards Donald Trump, according to him and his supporters, deserves political and personal retribution. This probably puts a big red target on my back. I have been doing everything I can to educate Trump supporters about their orange Lord and Savior, except he's more like the Antichrist. When Donald Trump came to West Virginia to campaign against me, he called me a stone-cold crazy wacko and mispronounced my last name.
You can't have that person in Congress. That person is stone-cold crazy.
I made a vow then that he would know my name because I wasn't done fighting for the working class, the poor, unions, and the elderly. There's a saying that I live by. Never walk past something that you know is wrong and fail to make comment. For if you do, you've accepted a new, lower standard. If I need to fight to stand up for decency, fair pay, Social Security, and health care for those who can't fight for themselves, then I will. If it makes me a target of evildoers like Donald Trump and his brain-dead followers, then so be it. If we don't stand up and fight against the oppression, we will have accepted a new, lower standard. The resistance to Trump starts here. We all need to be courageous and stand against his lies. If we don't, and he wins, our country will never be the same. It will be the end of democracy as we know it. Newsmax host Greg Kelly interviewed Trump via phone on Tuesday's edition of Greg Kelly Reports and asked the former president if the conviction would help his chances in November.
Is it possible that this is a net positive? And maybe it's too soon, but a lot of money is coming in, a lot of support. Is it a net positive? Is there any way that that conviction could be a net positive?
Well, they're nasty people. They're crooked as hell. They're nasty, vicious people.
Rather than addressing the question, Trump immediately veered off into his usual tirade of grievances.
It was a trial that everybody said shouldn't have been brought, including Bragg didn't want to bring it. Nobody wanted to bring it until I decided to run, and then was beating everybody by a lot, and then was beating Biden by a lot in the polls. But, it's a very terrible thing. It's a terrible precedent for our country. Does that mean the next president does it to them? That's really the question.
Donald Trump used the time handed to him by Greg Kelly to air his dirty laundry instead of engaging in meaningful dialogue. This is what we can expect from Donald Trump. It's always about him and how he thinks news stories make him look. He's not focused on the fact that he's a lying sack of garbage. He's not interested in accountability. He wants to be praised constantly like a dictator. He probably daydreams about himself and Kim Jong-un in superhero outfits fighting against poor, desperate people. Donald Trump has delusions of grandeur and thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. But in reality, he's a low-life criminal who will sell this nation out to keep his nasty backside out of jail. Even Trump's stooges are getting in on the threats. Check out what Roger Stone has to say.
And this isn't about revenge. This is about the rule of law. they know that if he becomes president again, then the treasonous activities of people like Barack Obama and Joe Biden and James Comey, the former FBI director, and John Brennan, the former CIA director, and Andrew McCabe and Susan Rice and Hillary Clinton and John Podesta, all of them documented in John Durham's, the special counsel's report, will be re-examined, and that there could be prosecutions for treason. So these people are looking at the real possibility of going to prison. No, it's not revenge. It's the rule of law that you liberals like to talk so much about.
Stone is out there claiming that if Trump becomes president again, political opponents like Obama, Biden, Comey, Brennan, McCabe, Rice, Clinton, and Podesta might face persecution for treason. He's trying to dress it up as upholding the rule of law, but we all know what's really going on here. My one request is that if Roger Stone is coming for me, then let him. Roger Stone is not a tough guy. Hell, I've seen tougher flies inside of a latrine in a combat zone. He's a big mouth who can't back himself up, always needing someone else to do his dirty work because he's a pathetic coward. If Roger Stone wants to meet up sometime, maybe that would be an educational experience for him. Both Roger Stone and Donald Trump deserves to be in jail, not out making threats against the First Amendment because they can't take some criticism. We know that they've never been fans of the Constitution. What other rights do they want to take away from us? It won't stop until these traitors are locked up. Lock him up already, and that is a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.